It is the Mosley Show. Welcome in. It is, big day. We got a lot going on. We got Baylor men and women opening their season today, coming off a big Baylor football win. I think a lot of you are happy on homecoming. Some of you have mixed feelings about it. We'll react. This will be a safe space today, and then we'll be getting you ready for the we got major Cowboys tonight. Monday Night Football. Cowboys host the Arizona Cardinals, and this is major. They could get it back to 4-4-1, and then the next week they'll go to 4-5-1. The next week they'll go to 5-5-1. But you never know. I think the Raiders are coming up here pretty soon. Cowboys will have a bye week. All our teams have bye weeks. Cowboys play tonight, then have a bye. Baylor on a bye today. In fact, Dave Aranda taking the opportunity it's his bye as well. And they're working hard. He didn't do his usual news conference today. He doesn't do it when they head into the bye. But this would have been a fun one. This would have been a fun one to react to. In fact, Scotty, if you do come across on the Baylor YouTube page, I'm sorry, I'm just telling you this now, you can hear Dave and I sort of reacting to each other. Let's look at, take a peek at his press conference that he did with the assembled media after the game, and we may use a little bit of that because we hit on several different topics after the game, including, hey, what happened this week? What did you say? What was the difference? Why did the Bears line up and just absolutely dominate a UCF team? I mean, UCF's not good. We get that, but hey, they've been in games. They beat a West Virginia team that turned around and had a big win Saturday. They played with a Cincinnati team that had been ranked, although Cincinnati ran it right into the ditch in Utah the other night, got run out of the building in a 45-14 loss. So tons of stuff to discuss today. But Scotty, we as we open today, we like to react with the most breaking of news. Sir, let's hit the breaking news sounder on this one because we do have. There it is. And these Baylor Bears came out today, had a 11 o'clock start. They're in Paris to open the season. This was the first men or women big game of the year. ESPN made a big to-do of it, which is great. They should have. And Duke, Carol Lawson, who was on ESPN for a while, the great player, she's now the head coach at Duke. And Duke was up, and they were up at halftime. The Bears had to kind of started to turn things around. Third quarter, they got it tied. And then the fourth quarter started to kind of pull away a little bit. Some anxious moments late. We got to talk to the players about, when you have a 6-point lead and there's like a minute left, there probably doesn't need to be a time when you're taking a shot with 15, 20 seconds left on the shot clock. But Bears get it done. Huge win for Nikki Collin and her staff as they go to Paris, France, open the season, and the Bears get a big win. And, man, it was one of those games that points were hard to come by, 58-52. And Baylor only had 2 players in double figures, but Talia Scott, who's been this is her third team in about 3 years. She's put up big numbers in the SEC. But she has found a home, let's hope, with the Bears. She's had injury issues. She's moved. She's had different things happen. But she's with the Bears now, and she scored 24 in this game. And really at the start of the fourth kind of took over. They could not guard her off the dribble. And, again, Bears had this was not a good shooting game at all for either team. I mean, Duke shot like 28% in this game. Bears weren't that much better. I think they probably ended up shooting about 33% for the game and didn't get much help. They got 6 points off the bench. I will say in that decisive third quarter where the Bears got it going, is Michaela Johnson, the freshman for the Bears, had a really nice off the dribble, went in, scored in the paint. I got to say, she did not look scared at all. Yu Ting Dong, Scotty, who we talked to Coach about the other day, only had 2 points in this game. I was kind of excited to see what U-Team could bring to the table. Not much in this first game. I would say Kyla Abraham, who's been with the team now in her 4th year, 6 rebounds, 5 points, 4 blocks. That's what you do. That's what you do when you can bring a 6'4" player off the bench and really gave Duke some problems. Duke only had 1 player in double figures, and that was Fournier, who is pretty good player for them. 16 points, 10 rebounds, 4 blocks. They had 14 blocks against the Bears. In fact, Wood, who came off the bench for them, had 6 blocks. Goodness gracious. But the Bears found a way to win this game, and down goes the number 7 Blue Devils. A measure of revenge for the Duke Blue Devils, having beaten the Bears in the NCAA tournament, not only the men in this last year, but then going back to the famous game that happened in 2000. Scotty, you'll remember off the top of your head, 2010 or 11, one of those years. The Bears ran into Duke and the officials, and they lost that game in Houston that would have taken them to the Final Four. 2009 or 10. Anyway, the Bears take down the hated Blue Devils, and this was a great win. And again, wasn't a great shooting night. Fauntleroy, who's a great player, can be a great three-point shooter. Only 4 points in this game. KJ, Kirsten Johnson, did have 8 rebounds and 2 blocks in this game. Didn't score much. It was Bugs with 10 points and 10 rebounds. And then Talia Scott comes into this one. We wondered what she would be like. I mean, she had games in the SEC where she scored like 35 points. She may have had a 40-point game at one point. I know for sure she had a 35-point game, and she's good. She can pull up. She can hit the outside shot. She wasn't great from a percentage standpoint. She was like, like 7 for 17 or something like that. But, man, when she was on and when she took it to the hole, they didn't really have anybody that could defend her. She was the best athlete on the court for the Bears and for Duke in this game, and she was the best player. 24 points is what she ends up with. Would have been more. Would have been 26. Missed a couple of free throws as they were trying to ice the game at the very end, or they would have won 60-52. But who cares? They win the game 58-52. Jenna Van Geitenbeek did not have one of her typically great games. Did have 4 assists and hit a big 3 when nobody was scoring for the Bears and things were getting a little bit scary in the fourth quarter. She did knock down a 3, and that was big. That was big, and then the Bears were able to go ahead and finish out this game. I don't know where the points are going to come from off the bench. I would just say the little I got to see, I was taping something else, but this Michaela Johnson, that came in from Tulsa. She is a true freshman for the Bears, and I like a tall guard. I like a 6-foot guard. They haven't had much of it around here. Again, we love Sarah's career. We loved Jada when she was here. Not that we didn't love all that, but to have a big guard is always fun, and that's what Michaela Johnson brings. And she's a 6-foot guard. And you know what? She went out there and had a big moment today and did some things that I liked in this game. So you had 4 players off the bench. Didn't get a lot of scoring off the bench, but you got enough to go win this game against Duke. And you just had some great defense. The Bears had quite a few blocks, and let's look here, 9 blocks on the day, including Abraham's 4 blocks. And as I said, 14 blocks for Duke. Duke ended up with 12 assists. Bears only had 10 assists, and this is big. Yes, Scotty, thank you for that text. I was needing. Yes, I realized that. I just needed to. I thought you still had my stuff. So anyway, Scotty and I we're gonna go live on Twitter here in a little bit. and we'll get that to you, and we're appreciative. Scotty, how about that? Let's welcome in Scotty Swingler. He's had a big day. You never know. I mean, he's Pete has to fly around the world, and I'm surprised Pete didn't show up in Paris given his travel.
Hey, Matt, you know what Pete's doing tonight?
What's that?
Filling in for the great John Morris on the Baylor Sports Radio Network.
Wow. John J-Mo. Well,
J-Mo slides over to ESPN Plus.
Oh, I got it. All right.
And so Pete steps into the radio play-by-play role.
I was planning on attending this season opener for the men, but now that I know Pete is going to be in this role, I don't know. I may listen to it on the radio, and
I think you're going to be occupied with something else going on tonight.
Oh, I got Cowboys. I got Cowboys and Cardinals. I apologize. I've been so thrown off. It was a wild weekend. I was watching a high school game. I was trying to get to a pigskin performance. Then we had our pregame, green and gold pregame. Wow, there was a lot going on. But Pete will do a nice job on that, and I will try to get that and listen to that like on the. I hope Rogue. Listen, that's over there at Playfly. Let's make sure Rogue is getting plenty. You can't just be letting old Pete just roll around and get about 7 different checks, although I'd like to do that. Scotty, I think we all would. About 6 different checks coming in, but I like that, though. Playfly, when they're in the pinch, they turn to Rogue Media Network. That's right, fellas. We're over here. And that'll be good. And maybe Pat Nunley will be on the doing the color, and then John will be with probably King McClure or somebody like that on the as the color analyst. As we have ESPN Plus, I have to say, Scotty, as you and I made our way around all the homecoming festivities, the bonfire, the pigskin. By the way, my nephew, and again, Blair Browning, my old college roommate, did a great job emceeing. I believe Kaio, his daughter, is in the Chi Omega. They were the #1 sing act. I think Tridelt was placed, and they were great. They did a great job. But man, for my money, the Keely, by the way, is Keely Browning. She does a great job for Kaio. I want to give her a shout out. Boone is the one who plays for the Midway boys team. But Scotty, John Andrew Logston, my nephew, had a solo, was in the quartet for the KOTs. And I don't know what they placed. I maybe second place. I don't know. But they were like Penguins night at the museum kind of deal. And then a quartet kind of blew down the house. And then they did the whole thing. And so anyway, I was very proud of him. And that was exciting. And then Scotty, lo and behold, the old Bears, a homecoming crowd. And again, it was interesting because we all have different perspectives. Scotty, it started raining. And of course, some of the crowd went away. I don't know how big the crowd was. I will say when they did pregame and they were doing some stuff where like the Baylor line kids did a cheer, like a students cheer. The alums did a cheer. I got to say, the students were loud. Let's give the Baylor line and the homecoming, because sometimes we're like, oh, the Baylor line didn't stick around. The Baylor line didn't try. Scotty, I got to tell you, the Baylor line showed up and showed out the other day. It didn't matter if it was raining. Most of them stayed in the stands. So that aspect, I think we were all waiting to look to see if, because of the team being in a bad spot and being 4-4, if the fans didn't show up. I did find it funny, Scotty, because like the fans were fine. Like I thought enough alums showed up. I don't know what the announced attendance was, but it was hard to tell because when it started raining, some of the fans went in. I thought the crowd, based on what we thought it was going to be, was fine. I thought students were good. But I do find it interesting because, like, Scotty, you and I, as Baylor alums who have seen a million of these things, right, we have our perspective. Like, again, I don't really get into, was it a good crowd, bad crowd? I don't really do a whole bunch of that. But I thought it was interesting. Parker Ream from the Fox affiliate, like after the game when he's asking questions, he was kind of like presenting it like, man, what about this incredible crowd that showed up? And I could even tell with the Baylor players, I think Sawyer was kind of like, yeah, they were good. We appreciate them, but I didn't. Everybody has different perspective, right? Like I thought the crowd was fine. It wasn't great. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, these fans all showed up anyway, even though the team's 4-4. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't like embarrassing. But again, I thought the sound, and Scotty, I don't know if you had what your duties were. I would say probably, hopefully you got to be there because I know you had buddies in town. But you and I had all kinds of pregame, and I didn't know where you were heading right after that. But so you could say wherever you were. But I thought from my perch in the press box, the students were good. The students were pretty loud. And Scotty, I mean, like, we have to give this team credit. We've been begging for it. I even asked, and they came out and just threw a couple of haymakers. Touchdown, 14-0, 17-0, 20-0. Like, just kind of like, whoa. And then even when things could have kind of gotten away, I didn't want them to let UCF back into it like late in the first half. The defense kept getting stops. They kept getting stops on fourth down. What has been the most maddening thing, Scotty? Third and fourth down, right? You can't ever get off the field. They did it over and over. It'd be 4th and 2. It'd be 4th and 5. It'd be like, I could not understand what UCF was doing, by the way. They got like 3rd and 1 against the Bears or 2nd one or and like 4th and 1, and they're throwing the ball downfield. Like Baylor has been susceptible to the run the entire season. They can't stop the run. And Scott Frost and UCF's just out there, well, we got this kid Jackson back or whatever his name is from injury. Let's just let him fling it down the field. But whatever the case, all I can do is say thank you very much. Thank you for coming in and having a very questionable game plan. And for once, Scotty, like sometimes you're like prepared for, oh gosh, if they lose this game, we're going to have to ask about Aranda's future. And does he get fired? And how do we react? And so like I'm in that headspace going into that game, and then they go out there and just dominate them, just rip them. I wasn't even, by the end of the game, Scotty, even the UCF helmet, that pregame was scaring me a little bit. Even the UCF helmet, I was not bothered by it at all. I was like, that helmet's fine. That helmet does not scare me one bit. I thought the Bears went out. And Scotty, and I want you to react to this too. When you were a little kid, Scotty, and then, well, actually when I was a little kid before you were born, this was, we're talking about the 80s for a minute. Because I don't think Scotty saw the 80s. Yeah, Scotty did not get to participate in the 80s. Baylor they had the Sigma Chi bell, and I feel like that thing's maybe hung around. Sometimes it's hard to get the Sigma Chi's out of bed in time to get the bell there, but the Sigma Chi is always like there's a big bell that rings, and then this game, Scotty, they brought the dadgum whatever that is, a foghorn. They brought the horn back. They used to do that back in the 80s every time Baylor would score a touchdown or kick a field goal, and they did it the other day.
It wasn't just the 80s. It was through the 90s as well, because I have memories of the Sigma Chi bell with the horn on it. They did that. They did that through the 90s as well.
Okay, good. I mean, well, by the time the end of the 90s, they weren't scoring enough touchdown to even hear it.
That's true. That's why it was such a cool event when they did.
They did tear down the goalpost when we beat University of Texas in 1997. Now, you had joined us by then. You would have been you little guy.
I'm too young to remember that. I have, will not surprise you, vivid memories as if it were yesterday.
A&M, the A&M.
Tearing down the goalpost in 2004. Yes, sir. Sean Bell.
Yes. Sean, and it was like Baylor had Ziegler, and then they had who was the other receiver? I think Ziegler's
Shelton was on that team.
Shelton was great. I love Shelton. I love his dad too. Yeah.
But Ziegler scored that touchdown and the 2-point conversion to win it.
Okay.
They were both throws to Ziegler.
Okay. Yeah, because I thought Shelton, he was big though. Shelton was big on that team. He was involved. And I got to say, Scotty, it was really cool to be in the press box. And more people were coming up to me like, hey, I'm liking the new show. I'm liking the new gig. And my man Reggie, shout out to Reggie, former Baylor player. He played with the late, great J.J. Joe. He played with Melvin Bonner. Reggie works for Baylor. He came up to me and he was like, hey, I'm liking the new show. So more and more people finding out. Scotty, we're going to start playing this show like live on Twitter every day. And the only thing that has prevented us from doing that, Scotty, is me like securing a credit card to pay for it. We'll do it though. We're going to do it. We're just going to do it. Okay. We're going to splurge. So then we're going to be like, it's going to be nice because like every day we'll make it even easier for our people. If you're on Twitter, you're going to see the show ready to go live. What I've been doing is putting it on my own Twitter before the show, like blah, blah, blah. And of course we're putting all the shorts out. We've got Cam involved with the show, which Scotty is I'm letting you, Scotty, at some point we got to let you get your breath back under you, your feet back under you with all this pregame and stuff. And then I want you to dig back in because you are the man. And in addition to Souza doing great and having great guests, we want to give him credit too. But Scotty, you played an enormous role in that. So once you catch your breath again, we're gonna get you back on some of that because we've now gotten Cam involved in the show, and Cam's timeliness is about like mine. I mean, Cam, hey, do you have anything for me today? Oh yeah, I meant to send that to you 7 hours ago. All right, but I love Cam. But I will say having Cam. The only way, Scotty, we can truly get Cam on point is if we throw him on the show. Okay, Cam needs to see his on face on the show before he really applies himself. So we may have to do that. At about 2 o'clock today, or maybe a little after, right around 2, Scotty, we'll try. Ashley Hodge is getting in position to cover tonight's Baylor game. We'll also get his take on what it meant the other day to beat UCF. We may have to do it over the phone because I don't want him trying to do email or video while he's driving. I'll get an update on that, Scotty, for us. But, man, it's fun. Okay, so Scotty gave us the interesting update, and thank you, Cherry Johnson, Siegmund James. Scott James's son, Jonah, had a solo for KOT also. It's really sad. All these great sons of Fiji's, all their sons are going KOT. Phi Gams will be back. They'll be back. And I think the young Phi Gams on campus right now are doing a nice job, but we've lost some of our sons to KOT in recent years. And that's okay. KOT, they're solid. They have been solid for a long, long period of time. But, Jonah James, that's Scott and Leanne James's kid, came out there and did a big-time job. And then also ATOs, oh my gosh, we had Zach and we had Sam. Those are two cousins. Sam is Chase and Sarah's kid. That would be Palmer. Okay, the Palmers. And then on the Smith side of things, Zach is So anyway, not to get to Rebecca and Brandon's kid is Zach Smith. All right, I got all that straight. They did a great job the other night for ATO. And anyway, so all these people are old friends of mine and old friends of my family. But that was fun the other day, too. In fact, Scotty, after Faith and I did the thing, Faith went to homecoming with her parents and her grandfather. And her grandfather used to be fraternity brothers with my dad. And so in the Letterman's Lounge or whatever we call that now, Letter Winners Lounge, Faith and her grandfather got to come over and hang out with my dad a little bit, which was cool. I think her grandfather was a little tough on my dad, and that probably didn't go over real well because my dad was a football player, and he probably did not. If I know my dad, he made it through pledgeship, but the thought of actually making my dad do something, and at the time, my dad was 6'3", 235 pounds. And that was big for a defensive lineman back then. Like, you did not want to be like a shorter person asking my father to do anything in a fraternity setting. That would not have gone well, I don't think. But they were they seemed to have a nice time seeing each other and all of that. So Larry is her grandfather's name. And then her dad played golf at Baylor. So anyway, lots of good connections there on homecoming. Scotty, did you have a successful homecoming? You were meeting up with your friends. You did a really cool thing on Halloween, trunk or treat type thing with your little ladybug daughter. And I know that was a lot of fun. Saturday, what was your experience after we broke down the set at our pregame? Did you run over to the game? Did you watch it remotely with your buddies? How did you handle that?
I experienced the game via radio, Matt.
All right. Just
old YouTube.
You've seen enough of the Bears.
Old YouTube TV was giving me a hard time, and I had the little ladybug during game time. So,
all right.
Thought about taking her in, but the rain and some other things. We did radio, which was great. I love JMO. And then very successful homecoming with the friends. We did Shorty's on one night and George's on the other. So we got the full Waco cuisine experience for homecoming.
I had George's catering the other day at that Art Briles luncheon, and that smothered steak, Scotty, and you strike me as someone that, I don't know if smothered steak does it for you. I think you're more like, you love a good chicken tender. You like seafood. I mean, you have good culinary taste, but I don't know if smothered steak's what you're after in life. But I'm telling you, the brown gravy and the tender nature of that smothered steak. I saw Sammy in Calcitrano, and I told him, I'm like, guys, I hadn't had anything that good since the old cafeteria days. So anyway, you probably had a cheeseburger at George's, if I had to guess.
I did have a cheeseburger at George's, but I'm also, it's hard to go to George's and not get the chicken fried, man. It's usually the chicken fried, but I'm not above a good smothered steak.
Back in the old day, when you ordered the chicken fried steak at George's, this was before Sammy and them took it over. I'm old enough to remember the pre-Citrano days of George's, and they came in, cleaned some things up, and brought us up to code, I think. But the old George's, you got two. You ordered chicken fried steak and you got two chicken fried steaks.
Right.
And I think now, because it's a little, obviously it's a higher quality of food that the Citranos are doing. It's it's a huge chicken fried steak, but it's just one chicken fried steak. Is that correct?
That's correct. Well, but I will comment on this too. Bobby B knows what's up. That's my order right there, Bobby B. Chicken fried steak and fried okra.
I know they got okra over there.
Oh yeah, all day long, Bobby B. You nailed it.
You get some chicken. Can you get some of those? What are they called? Crazy chicken or whatever?
Crazy wings.
Oh, I like that.
I had some crazy wings Saturday night. I did.
Jalapeno and like a bacon.
Yes, sir.
Wrap.
Crazy wings. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. What I was gonna say though. My friends were commenting, and I guess I just don't think about this because, I live here. I got to give props to George's for this. It is still wildly good value. That chicken fried steak meal with two sides, you can get the premium one that's the bigger chicken fried steak. You can get the regular chicken fried steak and two sides, and I believe it is $12.99. And I don't know, man. In today's world, with beef prices the way they are, and
that's
quality food just gets more and more expensive. $12.99 for a big chicken fried steak and two sides, and it's a pretty good deal. And they've still got multiple plates for about $10 if you want to, keep it lighter. Like they have nailed the value part.
That's great. That's great. I mean, my gosh, Sammy and them, Sammy, I'm going to send an invoice over to you. We just spent about 5 minutes on George's. So invoice will be arriving soon. Now we need to take care of, speaking of restaurants. And by the way, Sammy goes to the other restaurants in town. Guess where I've seen Sammy? Because they all support each other. You think, oh, they're all competitors. Actually, a lot of them are friends. Have I seen Sammy Citrano at Brazos Landing? You bet I have. You bet I have. Do Claude and Becky Lindsay go over there? You bet they do. Over to Jorge's and all that good stuff. But the Brazos Landing, boy, we love the Landing and always look for any opportunity to get over there. In fact, a lot of homecoming parties and get-togethers happen right over there at the Brazos Landing. Thank you, Central National Bank. Thank you, CNB. Hello, Fonville. Fonville's always checking out. Has Mosley mentioned me yet? Has Mosley? No, he doesn't think like that. He might, though. Has Mosley mentioned the bank? Has Mosley? Hey, big day for CNB because they do the commercials. They're the presenting sponsor for the Mosley Show, but also for Baylor women's basketball. And those Bears went out and beat the number 7 team in the country today. All right, so Craig and Peggy and Joe and all the great actors from CNB that are part of those wonderful commercials. And boy, CNB, it's unbelievable stuff. Even that luncheon the other day. I mean, the Hall of Fame, the Texas Sports Hall of Fame luncheon. CNB right up there, one of the presenting sponsors. We don't mind sharing them. We don't mind sharing them because they've really become what would I call them? Let me give them a new slogan. Your bank forever. Okay, see what I did there? I switched it. There's another bank that does something else, but I just switched it up a little bit. All right, we do need to take care of our partners, and then we probably will check in with Ashley Hodge. Maybe we'll see. We'll see what Ashley's up to. As we get ready to open the men's season of basketball, all that coming up next.
When Central National Bank decided to partner with Baylor women's basketball, we were hoping Coach Collin would bring that championship mindset to do whatever she has to do to take our workplace culture to the next level.
Well, these donuts are pretty good.
Guys, how we doing?
We're good, Coach.
Craig! What are you doing?
What do you mean?
You have to dunk it.
So far, I think our employees are really enjoying it.
Not everything's a basketball thing.
Did you say something, Craig?
No, ma'am.
That's what I thought.
Dude, I think she likes you.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor women's basketball.
If you want the best for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform.
At your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
Bubble wasn't here. I don't know what people would be doing, like making PowerPoints or something. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. We deliver premier protection at affordable prices and express shipping. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
Better sleep, inspired by nature. Your back, hips, and shoulders will fall into perfect alignment in any position, meaning that you get deeper, more comfortable rest. Visit ecoterrabeds.com.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
Is your Mac running slow? Mac Booster 8 is your all-in-one solution to clean up 20 types of junk files. Get your Mac running like new again with Mac Booster 8. Visit macboost.net today.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
At Matt Piffle, we believe in celebrating your journey. Our unique personalized products are designed to boost your confidence. From custom home decor to meaningful gifts, we help you cherish the memories that make you who you are. Visit mappiffle.com and start celebrating your story today.
Streamline event and appointment booking with Amelia's sleek, modern, and fully customizable booking forms. WPAmelia.com. That's WPAMELIA.com. Amelia. Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. NALGENE.com.
A house is a property, but we live in homes. Home sweet home. Homes where the heart is. We aim to deliver the best home buying and selling experience so you can spend less time real estating and more time living.
WhyPersonalLoans.com. Request a loan anytime. Our partners can offer loans up to $35,000 with varying rates and terms. Review your loan offer with no obligation and decide what works for you. Visit PersonalLoans.com today.
This is what $500,000 in a duffel bag looks like. Actually not real. That's because it's actually prop money. It looks realistic from a distance, but up close you can see it says for motion picture purposes. Visit PropMoney.com today to get your money seen or money shot right with Prop Money Inc.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at san.com.
The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. That's ULIKE.com. U-Like.
Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. Download the app today and sign up with promo code Mosley to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code MOSLEY. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play-and-get-terms_DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
Underdog. It's not just something we talk about. It's something I try to play just about every day. Helps me stay engaged with sports. And tonight, I got a little doubleheader for you. Of course, the Cowboys are playing on Monday Night Football, and the Baylor Bears are playing basketball. But unfortunately, Underdog didn't let you pick Baylor, UT, Rio Grande Valley. So I did make a pick on Underdog today. Matt, this might make some of our Baylor followers upset. Here it is. Rob Wright, higher than 4.5 assists tonight for BYU as they take on Villanova, surrounded by playmakers there at BYU. AJ DeBonsa, of course, and others. I think that guy will have 6 or 7 assists this evening. This one, I could not believe the number here, Mosley. Javonte Williams. You're telling me that we're going to say higher or lower than 66.5 rushing yards for, what is he now, the second or third leading rusher in the NFL? Give me higher than 66.5 rushing yards tonight for Javonte. And then, I hate to admit it, but the Cowboys defense is still really bad. Russell Wilson already had a career day against them earlier this season. Jacoby Brissett will play very well tonight at quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. Give me Jacoby Brissett with higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns. Those are my underdog picks for this evening. We'll check back in, let you know how we did. If you want to win some money with me, maybe you should make the same picks. Use the promo code Mosley. You'll get a bunch of bonus cash when you deposit that will help you play even more underdog without having to spend more money. You can play for as little as $1, make picks, win money. We love underdog. We love the Dallas Cowboys, Matt Mosley.
We do, and we're getting you ready for Baylor basketball tonight. I thought that was interesting that you chose the Javante. I just was doing something else this morning, and was looking at that. I was looking at the higher or lower on Javante, and I do think I would go with the higher as well. And I agree on Brissett because anybody against this defense should be able to. This team catches a lot of breaks. They have played a lot of backup quarterbacks over the last 2 or 3 seasons, and I think Kyler Murray, unless something else has changed, he was kind of listed as like an emergency quarterback in this game. So it would be hilarious if they raced him out there somehow and caught the Cowboys flat-footed. But he's never lost in that building. He's 9-0 when it comes at AT&T Stadium. So that will be interesting. I cannot move on from, and who knows, I'll look and see if we want to talk some hoops here in a second, but I can't move on quite yet from and we'll spend a little time in this next hour getting you ready for Cowboys and Cardinals. I think the Cowboys will win this game. They play a lot better at home. They function well. They put up a lot of points. They'll move to 4-1, and then we can all run around and act like, oh my gosh, look, the Cowboys are in it. They have a chance. And the truth is they really don't. But that's fine. That's fine. I mean, I'd rather them. It'll be more interesting for me and what we do with the Doomsday podcast and this show if they go out and have a good showing. I did love the fact that Baylor, I mean, like even this sentence from an AP game story after this game, the Knights talking about UCF at that homecoming game the other day. They were able, because of a Robertson fumble, to get a field goal at the end of the half to make it 20-3 at halftime. Should have been more. Baylor should have gotten more, but Baylor jumped on them 14-0. The Sigma Chi's were blowing that old foghorn. That sounded kind of fun. And then, Scotty, I got to say, I laughed because I think probably Bryce and everybody was like, what's Mosley talking about? Because it was part of my childhood, I got kind of excited about hearing that stupid horn. And it was loud, and I knew the Frogs because they have a train horn, and they call it the frog horn. And I thought people would say, oh, Baylor's trying to copy TCU. And they actually built some kind of really cool-looking train horn type thing. But Baylor was doing this before y'all were doing that stupid frog horn back in the 80s, okay? Pat Sullivan tried to bring this to TCU. Then they brought it back. This goes back to TCU for about 1994. Baylor was sounding its horn back to the 80s. When I really remember it happening big time was that 80s season when they had like Bruce Davis and they had Gerald Ice Cube McNeil and Walter, and then Alford got over there. Those two great backs from Waco, the Waco Independent School District. Come on now. Don't even try to claim that, Frogs. But I know the Frogs have done a continuous horn since 1994, so they may try to take credit for it. But this was the line from this score. This is the line that shocked me, Scotty, as I was kind of looking back at the game today. The Knights' other drives, other than the one where Baylor fumbled and let them have the 20-3 deficit at halftime, the Knights' other drives ended in 4 punts, 3 turnovers on downs, a missed field goal, and 2 interceptions, one of which set up Baylor's only TD of the second half. It was a thing of beauty, okay? Yeah, you could have run it up and you could have scored more and all that kind of stuff. But it was nice to be able just to sit on a lead and let your defense keep snuffing them out. And Taven Jackson, he was he tried 33 passes. He completed about half of them for 151 yards and 2 interceptions. Redding's always making plays. There was a gorgeous play over on the sideline, and then DJ made one. That was Reed, I think, made one of those interceptions for the Bears. So, man, that snapped a 121 game streak by UCF of them scoring at least one touchdown. It goes all the way back to 2015. You got to go back a decade. All right, since they've been a game where UCF did not. And by the way, they put 45 points on West Virginia the previous week. Dang it! So that was amazing. UCF finished with just 225 yards on offense, despite averaging 442 in league play. Again, is this like a great defense that Baylor's rolling out there? No, it's not. But in this game, they played their tails off. And this game, Baylor is now 1 win away from bowl eligibility, and Aranda improves his overall record with the Bears to 36-34. All right, that's not enough. Don't worry. We're not on here like, hey, he saved his job. He saved it. No. The story still needs to be told. All right, they're 5-4. They're going into a bye. They still have the Utes on the schedule. The Houston Cougars, who lost. Houston Cougars ran into problems. Scotty, I think you and I both were. Now, I just never could trust this Houston team. And it turns out they were not trustworthy. Willie Fritz has done a heck of a job, okay? But they're not the kind of team that's going to just win out. They got beat, and the Cougs got beat by, who was that, Scotty? West Virginia? That was rough.
West Virginia.
And then Cincy. By the way, Scotty, you've got kind of a Cincy look about you. You've kind of got like a mountain, from the Great Northwest. You got kind of a Paul Bunyan thing going for you today.
Okay. Those are. I want to be clear, and anybody who knows me personally knows how true this is. I would do just about anything to live in the Northwest, and Cincinnati is not in the Northwest. You said
no. I'm sorry. There was 2 different things that got mixed up.
Okay.
You made me think of Cincinnati colors. And then in my brain, I had transitioned to the Great Northwest. I do have some grasp of geography, and I know that Cincinnati's actually right over there by Kentucky, right there on the border, and so I do have a feel for that. But thank you for being ready to catch me and jump on me. But no, I was thinking of 2 different things. Golly, man, this conference is really interesting because I got to say, this is usually when we do some Campus Confidential, so we can call this Campus Confidential if we'd like. But it makes me think about Scotty, like the rest of the conference right now, because Tech got a great win over Kansas State. Baron Morton came back. They piled it up on them. They beat them 43-20. And now, according to ESPN's numbers, Tech went from like a 50% chance to playing in the playoff to like a 64% chance. And then even your beloved BYU folks, they went from, even though they didn't even play, they went from 54% up to around 63 to 65%. So right now in the conference, of course, with Houston losing, and they fell off of the map, obviously, in terms of any kind of playoff chances, but you have those 2 teams I just mentioned are hanging around. And then, Scotty, it's still the big 3, right? You have major separation after A&M and Indiana and Ohio State.
Agreed.
You got those 3 are on a tier kind of alone. But what happened over the weekend is everybody else started kind of jockeying for position. Alabama did not play, but Alabama's in pretty good position. Alabama's right around 74 or 75% chance.
By the way,
and your Georgia Tech kids, sadly, kind of fell off the map. Yeah.
According to Vegas, They think Alabama's got the third best odds to win the national championship.
Wow. So, and by the way, since that opening loss, and it was a bad one because it came to Florida State, they have looked great since then. And
they have.
So other teams are kind of getting in position. We got to, since we always beat up on him, we got to do two things for Texas and OU. Arch had a really good day. They held off a late comeback from Vandy. Texas I don't think they're going to go to the playoff. You never can count them completely out. They, according to ESPN's numbers, now have a 32% chance of getting in the college football playoff. And I got to say, Oklahoma, that was a great win. Oklahoma goes to Tennessee and takes down the Vols. And Venables has had a real uneven time there in Norman. But that was a good night for OU and Venables and the gang. That was a great win for OU and a good win for Texas.
I want to propose a scenario to you, Matt Mosley. And I want to say that I still think the odds of this happening are quite minimal. But with Houston losing, with Cincinnati losing, and with the rankings the way they are today, there is a non-zero chance that you could have 3 Big 12 teams potentially in the playoff. I don't think the committee does it, but I want you to think about this. Utah has Baylor, Kansas, and Kansas State left on its schedule. They will be heavily favored in all 3 of those games. Meanwhile, let's say BYU goes to Lubbock and beats Texas Tech. But then Texas Tech beats BYU in the Big 12 title game, and Utah wins out. You have 1-loss BYU, 2-loss conference champion Tech, and 2-loss Utah. There is a very, very, very slim chance you could argue 3 Big 12 teams get into the playoff in that scenario.
Gosh, that almost requires like a graphic. My gosh.
I don't have a graphic today.
Scotty, I'm saying for the future. I'm not
this
saying
is percolating. It's percolating here.
Invent one here, but that is very interesting. It is,
and part of how big the Big 12 could get those 3 teams in is the ACC is faltering, right? So Miami lost again. You and I talked about it Friday that SMU could win that game. They did. Georgia Tech was your undefeated kind of darling in the ACC. Well, they lost. So
ACC is getting 1 team.
Right. Correct.
That's it. I think
that opens the window for the Big 12 to get 2. I think fairly easily, whether it's Utah or Tech or BYU, 2 of those 3. But it would, if BYU and Tech split, if one of those teams wins the game this Saturday and one wins the Big 12 title game, I just wonder if both could get in and Utah. That would be something for the Big 12.
Yeah. If you're not in the championship game in the Big 12, you're not getting in.
You might be right.
You might be right. I just think if that committee put 3 Big 12 teams in, the Big 10 and SEC would revolt and just secede. They would just move away from the whole process. And like next year, they'd say, okay, we were going to hold off, but we are going to go ahead and form our super conference now. Like, I just don't think, I do not think they would react well at all to something like that. But that's good. I love the scenario. I love thinking about it. Our man Dion is getting crushed. Boy, Colorado's bad, and they may retrench and they may come running back next year, but wow. Life after Shadur and Trav and the other Sanders, Shiloh, it's rough, man. It's rough out there. And because he's Dion, nobody's going to try to chase him out, but keep your eye on Dion. If Dion doesn't think he can turn this thing around, he's got a lot of medical stuff going on that he could beg out. He could take a little time off and then see if he could get offered an NFL job or another college job or something like that. Nothing. Nobody said this to me. I just know how things operate, and I want you to keep your eye on that situation. I think he'll hang in there and try to bring Colorado back next year. But, boy, Colorado's bad. They have fallen off the map. And our good friends out at Cincinnati, the old Bearcats, I'm sorry, fellas. I'm so sorry. You ran into a buzzsaw. That's a rough place. That's a rough – I'll tell you, when you want to play Utah out there, you want to play them when Texas Tech played them. You want a ball game out there at big noon. You want an 11 a.m. Central Time start right out there, or 10 o'clock Mountain start, as the case might be. That's what you want if you play Utah. You do not need to be messing around with the Utes at night. There are places you avoid at night. One of them is Jones. You do not want to be caught after about 7 o'clock in Lubbock, Texas, if you're another football team. And same thing goes for Utah. You do not want to be hanging around after dark in a Utah environment. That's a rough place to be. But all these scenarios are very, very interesting to me. And, look at our man. He's already here. Okay, well, Scotty, with your permission, I'd like to bring him right on. Can we bring our man Ashley Hodge, the co-founder? He's the man over at Sick'em 365. He's getting ready for a game tonight. And I have to say, Ashley, you're looking good today, looking like you've been in the weight room again. I would have to say that the reason you got to Waco early and can even be in position to do something like that is because, knowing you raced down there to be in position to watch Nikki Collin and the Baylor women who raced to a victory over the number 7 Duke Blue Devils from Paris, France. Now, that is a trip I'm surprised you and Donald Wright did not make, all right, with the Bears going over to Paris. But I know you wanted to be here for the opener of the men's program. Welcome to it. But isn't that exciting that the women got a great road win or a neutral site win against the Blue Devils today?
Yeah, I watched every second of it. It was not the prettiest offensive performance for sure, but man, I tell you what, they really rebounded well, and I thought Nikki's decision to play the two bigs was really key and really preventing Duke from scoring inside. And very impressed with the effort, the defense, the grit. Scott was incredible. She had a great game, so a lot to be excited about for the Lady Bears.
Okay.
I don't think we don't call them Lady Bears anymore. We just call them Bears.
That's right,
Bears.
buddy. Okay, major violation there. Scotty, can we edit that out for later? Talia, man, she was something. And that'd be a good Sick'em 365 headline right now. Great Scott with a big exclamation.
Yes.
Yeah. Is Garrett, who's kind of really plugged in? Who's representing y'all, would you say, biggest on the Baylor women this year as far as your Sick'em 365 coverage?
We've got an intern, Owen Miller. Man, he's a basketball junkie, and he's doing an incredible job for us. So he's got that responsibility, and he's knocking it out of the park so far.
I like to see that. Big Owen. We'll see what Owen. I'll be giving Owen some feedback. I'm going to kind of look and see and offer him some unsolicited feedback. Ashley, okay, before we first of all, wasn't that cool the other day to hear the old Baylor foghorn, the old Sigma Chi? They had the bell, the foghorn. We had a lot going on at a homecoming. How did you, because y'all have had to cover this thing, and our coverage leading up to that game was more about Dave Aranda, his future. We had Colt on the other day, Colt Barber, another one of the co-founders at Sick'em 365. So we were all sort of poised to cover a possible coaching change. and they come out there and win 30-3. So it is strange because, yes, we're glad. I mean, I know there are certain people on y'all's boards that probably were ready for change, but it's hard. You and I are dyed-in-wool Baylor people. It's hard to show up at a game and root for a loss, okay? Some people are better at that than others. But the Bears win 30-3. Give us your take of the temperature, because I've seen where you watch games from. You have people that come by your area that are plugged in and that give a tremendous amount of money. What are the vibes after this game? I know it doesn't change everything, but it does make things more interesting going into these last 3 games.
It does. I mean, nobody performs like a Dave Aranda team when he's on the hot seat. And last year we saw that play out for sure. I think it's great to see. I mean, that's what we were hoping for all season long. Finally a complete performance. The defense, where was that all year long? They played great. Probably their best game since Arizona State. I thought the offense was efficient enough. They took care of business, got off to a fast start. So we'll see what happens. I'm a big, let's win as many games as possible. That's better for Baylor football, no matter what the outcome is. I mean, you never know. If Aranda wins all the games on the remaining on his schedule, I'm not expecting that to happen. But if he did, there might be a UCLA or a Stanford that wants to pluck him away, and then you might not have to relieve him of his duties. But I would love for him to win out. I would love for him to turn this around. I know it's been inconsistent, and certainly this year, much bigger expectations for how the team would perform. It seems like a change is inevitable, but I'm rooting for the best possible outcome for Baylor football.
I like that. You're about to launch your political career after that last game. The best possible outcome for Baylor football. It sounds like you think, like a lot of folks, at 6-6 probably doesn't cut it, and there might think about a change. And I don't even know if 7-5. I mean, is that some kind of huge difference? Like you say, though, if he runs off 4 straight at the end of the season, that's going to
hard to fire an 8-4 coach.
It is at Baylor, especially. You might do that at some other schools. I mean, Brian Kelly got his rear fired at 5-3, and it happens in other places. Hugh Freeze now out at Auburn. I mean, that's the only thing, Ashley, is if you do have to move on from Dave Aranda, it's a very crowded field. Not that there aren't firings every year. They just happen earlier than they used to. And then the volume's pretty high. And so, it's a crowded group out there. And I think there are people that we're all keeping our eye on. That guy, Will Stein at Oregon, is a name I've heard from Colt. This Eric Morris, what he's doing at UNT, they're 7-1 now. That Westamaker is a really fine player. I think he's like a redshirt sophomore quarterback that's having a great season. And Eric Morris just is kind of fun because, I think if Baylor makes a change, Ashley, the thought is they need to get back to the most fun times ever as a Baylor fan was when they had a great offense. And I'm not saying you have to have an offensive head coach. It sure would be nice, though.
Well, we certainly looked like we were headed that direction, prior to this season. I mean, the way we finished the season last year, the offense, seemed like it was going to be one of the best in the country. And it's the inability to run the ball has been, kind of baffling with all these returning offensive linemen. But maybe Mason Miller's departure was a secret to unlock the success. I'm kidding. I mean, I'm sure he's a fine offensive line coach, but it is kind of funny that we run the ball, pretty well against a solid, defense in UCF Saturday. But we'll see what happens. Utah is going to be an enormous test. That's a very physical football team, and we'll see if we're up for the challenge.
Yeah, and we want to apologize to the Miller family for that Ashley joke. All right, tonight the Bears get it going.
Yeah,
they had the exhibition. You were on hand as you tend to be. I think it's a little scary right now. You and I both watch this team like crazy, and we live and die with Baylor basketball. The Ogbum dilemma. I think we both thought, especially even with the way he played overseas, like, hey, this guy's going to be a major player, it's not great that his last couple of outings have been really poor shooting outings. Carr is a player, Cameron Carr, that you have loved, but let's stick with Ogbum for a second. Is that just kind of like just bad, kind of weird luck? Had a couple of bad games. What are you hearing on him, like from practices? And because obviously you just don't want him to start the season in some kind of ditch. Now, again, we're not going to see anything against the Rio Grande Valley folks that tells us the whole story, but wouldn't it be great to see him and some others kind of get going, hit some shots, and make everybody feel good about things?
Yeah, no, I mean, what he showed us in Germany was somebody who's, an explosive scorer. I think that's what they thought they were getting out of the transfer portal. I think that's what they got. I don't think these 2 exhibition games are representative of, the type of season he'll have. The only thing that gives me pause is I think Jeremy Roach had some similar struggles in exhibition games last year. Didn't play well against Grand Canyon, didn't play well against A&M, and that, did translate to a rockier season than what we were hoping for and expecting out of him. But I think Obi really responded exactly the way you would want him to respond. He went to his coaches, from what I heard, and was just like, I played terrible. You will not see that again. That is not the player you thought you were getting. I want to apologize. I'll get this right. So I think he's responded in the right way. Certainly showed a lot on a Wyoming team. It wasn't a good team, but he played really well against good competition, the BYUs of the world, and some of the upper echelon teams in the Mountain West, which is a pretty good conference. He shot 44% from 3, 43% from 3, whatever it was. So I think he'll get it right. I think what you saw in Germany is more like what we'll see from him. Although you'd love to see him play well against Washington on Sunday, because that's the type of game that will give you more confidence that statement I just made is a true statement.
Yeah, that the Huskies are going to have more, and they've been known to have some NBA talent, and that'll be.
They're good. They're underrated.
Are they?
I think they're really underrated in the Big Ten. Yeah. I think that's going to be a major challenge. We need Bear fans to be there. It's going to be a fun game.
Yeah,
blackout.
Oh, is that right?
You're representing. You're already in the gear. It's going to be a blackout. Yeah,
I do that. I mistakenly feel like black is like slimming for me.
you and Johnny Cash, you guys wear it well.
Yeah. We like to keep the sunglasses on. This will be interesting. Now, from that's very good insight from Ashley right there about Ogbum. That's why we have you, Ashley, for those kind of nuggets. I mean, that's really good stuff. That Ogbum felt enough about playing poorly, and boy, Roach, even the mention of him sends chills through me, because as long as Ogbum doesn't start showing up at Scruffy's and on the DJ stand and stuff, I think we'll be okay. But yeah, Roach.
As far as we know, Obi's not been taking private golf lessons, so I think we're in good shape. Did you hear this? So Jeremy was a great golfer. He became an outstanding golfer in his time in Waco. Awesome.
You don't want to give a Duke kid who probably has already had like a real cushy existence, like about $1 million. Say, here's $1 million more after you've been treated like a king for about 3 years. Just come here and hang out. Oh man. So, do you know what course he enjoyed the most? Was it?
I don't know. I'm not a golfer.
Cottonwood, Bear Ridge.
I play pickup basketball and I watch pickup basketball.
I bet with all that money, I bet they let him sneak on Ridgewood every once in a while. You do look like you could play some pickup hoops there. Well, this will be fun tonight, and to kind of get it going. And the blackout, that's going to be a great environment. The Bears need to start fast. And what about from the big guys? Tell us, you're always great at kind of keeping up with where people are in their comebacks. Bodo was someone they were very excited about, because he was going to help them on the defensive end, known as a shot blocker, rebounder. There were some things he was really going to help out in that end. And I don't know if he was out, scooting around campus or whatever happened, but where are they with some of these injuries, and specifically with his return.
Yeah, I heard some good news on him this past week. I think before last week, I was expecting him to redshirt. I didn't think he would be ready to play this season, but he made some really good progress last 2 weeks. So I think it's more optimistic that he'll be available in January, maybe 50-50, maybe 70% that he doesn't play in red shirts. I don't know what the odds are, but it's looking more optimistic that we'll have him available in January. If we don't have him available, I expect Baylor to add a big man to the roster, probably someone at mid-semester that would be able to play in January. But ideally, Bodo is the guy you would want to have do that because he's been going through practice. He's been watching film. He's been bonding with his teammates. He just isn't full speed. But one way or another, I think we'll be adding a big guy come January.
Is that guy like at FAU right now or something?
Maybe in the G League. I don't know. I guess you can take G Leaguers these days. So I think it'll be an overseas bid.
Yeah.
From what I hear, I don't know any names, but I suspect it'll be an overseas guy that is probably going to help us.
Yeah. That probably has been, started growing a beard about 8 years ago. What was our guy last year? That I loved the picks that he set.
Marino Dubrovak.
Yeah, Dubrovak.
I don't know. I can't remember where he ended up. He's playing for somebody. Yeah, he's at the mid-major level. I thought he was aggressive. I thought he had some potential.
That's making an ice joke, but we think he's still doing there. He's probably doing some good schoolwork and that kind of thing. Okay, now Carr. I mean, you've loved him. You love his athleticism. Every time I try to paint, And by the way, how cool is this to see Edgecombe? Everybody was ready. Cooper Flag, and Edgecombe has come out there and been unbelievable. And he's now the leader in the Rookie of the Year rankings. But every time I try to say this guy's the most explosive guy ever, you kind of will go to me, hey, don't forget about Carr. Don't forget about something that Carr can do. So there's some things that Carr does that you love. I think we're going to determine about Carr, is he coachable? Is he a good teammate? All those things that Baylor really values, they're going to have to kind of stay on him about. And hopefully, how's he doing in that regard? And because it seems like he's a guy when the lights come on, he doesn't have a problem. Like I would say so far, he's looked fine in these games.
Yeah, my impression, wrongfully so, was that he's a little bit of a tentative guy. I might have compared him more to a Perry Jones before I saw him play live. And then I'm like, this is not who he is. He gets after it. He's a competitor. I mean, he'll get the occasional technical. He'll lose his temper. I think, he's still maturing, but from what I've been told, he's a great teammate. He works hard. He brings it every day. He's a great guy to have on the team. And certainly I think a key to Baylor's upside. He's an NBA athlete, no doubt about it. Hopefully we get 2 years out of him, but he may be good enough that he's only a 1 year guy. We'll see. I mean, he's 6'5", he's got a 7'2" wingspan. He needs to gain some strength, but he's so athletic, so fast, can get up to 12 feet on his vertical. I mean, he just has everything you want in a basketball player. And he's just got that swagger too. So I'm excited about him, and he hasn't disappointed. He's played really well in the exhibition games. He played really well in Germany. Every time I go see him in practice, he plays really well. Occasionally he'll forget the plays, but he's got maybe a little bit of Matt Meyer in him sometimes in that regard. But I think he's, very much, wanting to be great. And I think he's going to get there. I mean, I think he's maturing every day, and I think he's really handling things like a professional. So I'm excited about him.
All right. And do we need to worry at all about the, I always forget how you do their initials. This is UT Rio Grande Valley or something. And there's a lot of UTRGV type things you have to say about them. Any worries or anything they bring in terms of like any athleticism, or you think everything should be good tonight?
Their point guard's Always Right is his name. What a name. Always Right. Spelled like our buddy Donald Wright and our buddy Jim Wright. Not sure who he's related to out of those two, but yeah, I don't know. They're a team that's probably in the 270s in these preseason. Ken Palm, Bart Torvik, even Miwakawa, Haslametrics, all that. So Baylor should take care of business. Baylor's expected to win by 25 to 30 points. It would be a big disappointment if they struggle against a team like this, but that's why they play the games. We'll see.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he looks too much like Jimmy Wright, and if he looks like Donald, they're in real trouble. Hey, anything coming up on Sick'em 365 like after games? I mean, I would imagine you'll try to wrangle me in. I mean, I would hope, and maybe Weston, bring in some of the blast from the past. But what's your plan this season? Because you did some good stuff from overseas, but anxious to kind of see what you're going to do on all these games. You'll be at some road games, but all the home games, I'm sure. What's Sick'em? What will be some of the things we can look forward to on Sick'em 365 this season?
Well, we'll definitely have a rapid reaction podcast and a write-up right after the game. For the bigger games, we'll probably give it more attention and more after the game, maybe a call-in show, maybe grab a player, grab a coach. I mean, we'll see how that evolves. That's going to be dependent on availability, obviously, and cooperation. But yeah, we're gonna try to do a really good job covering this team. We started in Germany. I've been to the Grand Canyon and the Indiana games, and certainly excited to watch the journey unfold. I mean, Ken Palm has Baylor number 17 preseason, and I think they have Baylor top 25 in offense and top 25 in defense. Death, taxes, top 25 offense for Scott Drew. Death, taxes, top 25 defense for Ron Sanchez. Let's go. Did you see the video? Did you see the hype video with that they put out, Baylor basketball?
Did Ted do it?
No, I mean, it was really well done. And it ended with Tunde Yesufu saying, in this uniform, we fight. The Big Bear's coming to town, baby. Ready to watch him play. Let's go.
Oh, man, that's great. I thought you were talking about TV Ted, who's put some really good – Ted will have a go at one of those things. I don't know. But
it's been a while since he put out a hype video. I know.
He put that nice
Armstrong Sims. Maybe Armstrong Sims will put out a hype video.
Ted and I had a really good relationship until one time I couldn't get on Twitter, and so I called him like every day. And I think Ted was through with me at that point.
He blocked your number. Yeah.
Effect on people, but fortunately, with the powers that be at Sick'em 365, I'm in pretty good stead with. Hey, have a great night, and don't forget. I hope they make a big announcement tonight about that Baylor women's victory. And boy, you to talk about getting Kyla and the other big on the court at the same time. KJ, of course. Shows your versatility. And congrats to Owen. And boy, I guarantee you Levi's there tonight. I've been spending some time with Levi, and I feel like he's trying to get involved with some other sports, but he does a great job. I loved what he did on baseball. I love reading him. So he's a good guy. He got a haircut, so I hate to see him he had a real good look where he kind of let the hair come down in the face a little bit, and he got that cleaned up. I think he went down to Tito Puente, downtown Waco. God, I love Tito Puente was one of the greats, the all-time greats. Okay, Ash, have a great one. Are you bringing any of your children or any loved ones to this game, or are you just focused? Is it just you tonight?
I'm going to dinner with my son, but he's got to study. He's a mechanical engineering major.
Man.
If it was a bigger game, I think he would be there.
Yeah.
My daughter can't go to the game tonight, but I will have the great Frank Colley with me tonight, and maybe some other guys as well. But I definitely have one friend that I'm going to meet, and I am going to meet Donald Wright and Wade Barrow for some Terry Blacks prior to the game. So we're excited. It's going to be a fun day.
That's all we need is him getting sleepy. I mean, that's okay. Ashley, thank you. This will be fun, and we'll be reading on Sick'em 365. Appreciate you doing this.
Sounds good. Thanks.
There he goes. Ashley Hodge from his beautiful studio. We need to take care of our folks here, Scotty. Let's do that. And then a couple of final thoughts as we get you ready for Cowboys and Cardinals tonight as well. How in the world are we going to keep up with all this? We'll discuss that next.
When Central National Bank decided to partner with Baylor women's basketball, we didn't know exactly what that partnership would look like.
What brings you into the bank today?
For the last couple of months, I've been noticing a charge on my account, and I would like to block it.
I see. So you have a charge?
Yes.
And you'd like to block it?
Yes.
I think you should take the charge.
What?
Yeah, I definitely think you should take the charge.
I don't think you understand.
Sometimes you just have to take one for the team.
Is there a manager available?
We love that Coach Colin is all about the team. Once we get the vocabulary down, the sky's the limit.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor women's basketball.
I have Mac Rhodes, director of Baylor Athletics, on the phone. Mac, can you tell Peggy why she should take the charge?
Of course she should take the charge. Wait, are you at the bank again? And who is Peggy?
If you want the best for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform.
At your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
Baylor Nation rolls along with Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Start with award-winning service and factory-trained techs. Then shop our new and used lineup. From cars, trucks, to SUVs, all makes and models. Running a business? We're your Central Texas headquarters for ProMaster vans, cabin chassis, and work trucks. For power and comfort, test drive the Ram 1500, the Motor Trend Truck of the Year winner again. Allen Samuels in Waco, proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Come by, let's be friends.
Bubble wasn't here. I don't know what people would be doing, like making PowerPoints or something. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. We deliver premier protection at affordable prices and express shipping. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
Better sleep, inspired by nature. Your back, hips, and shoulders will fall into perfect alignment in any position, meaning that you get deeper, more comfortable rest. Visit ecoterrabeds.com.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
Is your Mac running slow? Mac Booster 8 is your all-in-one solution to clean up 20 types of junk files. Get your Mac running like new again with Mac Booster 8. Visit macboost.net today.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
At Mapiful, we believe in celebrating your journey. Our unique personalized products are designed to boost your confidence. From custom home decor to meaningful gifts, we help you cherish the memories that make you who you are. Visit mapiful.com and start celebrating your story today.
It is the Matt Mosley Show. Scotty Swingler alongside as always. And good to have Ashley Hodge as the Bears get ready to get going tonight against University of Texas Rio Grande Valley RT Rio or something, RTG TVT something. Lots of letters involved. Boy, interesting name that he threw out there. Point guard apparently is. What did he say, Scotty? His name is like always ready or something like that. Always. What a fascinating first name for the point guard. I gotta look this up. The point guard for this team has some kind of really interesting. Always right. WRIGHT is in the name. We'll have to see what this is. Let's take a peek at this, Scotty, and see what we have going on. Scotty's done great work today. In fact, he looked up some things from what Aranda had to say the other day. And we'll talk about that as the week unfolds. Dave and I kind of had an interesting back and forth. And one of the things that I asked him immediately after the game the other day was like, when did you see this happening? Talking about Dave Aranda and Bears beating UCF 30-3. Did you see something in practice that might let you know about this outcome? And Scotty, he said, yeah, I started to see this Wednesday. And then like the pregame thing, Michael Allen, who has been not to be confused with Michael Turner, the freshman running back. Michael Allen is kind of a special teams guy who's a very inspirational player on the team and leads a lot of their Bible studies and has seen, he's just made a huge impact on the team on and off the field. Said that Michael Allen was asked to speak and just had an amazing message to the team. I believe that might have happened on maybe Friday evening, kind of like a chapel service or a team meeting or whatever. And Michael Allen, said all the things that needed to be said, to which Scotty afterwards, I still had the mic in my hand. And I said, well, have you thought about letting him speak to the team on a weekly basis? And Dave kind of liked it. Dave got a chuckle out of it. And some of the assembled, when Dave shows up, Mac and Jovan and Kenny the Hitman Boyd and all of these guys, and they kind of always, win or lose, are pretty stone-faced. Sometimes the president will be in there, President Livingstone, and of course, but it was good to see. I did talk to Mac Rhodes for just a minute afterwards, and Mac, boy, he's kind of had the longer hair for a while now. Well, he cut his hair. He's got a nice kind of short haircut, and of course, we'll start to see him on Tuesday evenings on national TV. With all the, not knowing which way this Baylor thing is going to go, with Dave Aranda, and they're 4-4, and now they're 5-4. We just have not seen much of Mac's usually been extremely available to the media. Now I probably hurt myself because of some tweet I had early in the season. Again, I can't help myself. Occasionally I get on to Scotty, I get on to Cam for some of their tweets, but occasionally I do something that puts me in bad stead. So I probably did that. It involved something about about Sawyer Robertson. And I was worried that Dave might not give him as much support as he needed from a Heisman standpoint. It was back when he was putting up huge numbers. He'd gotten off to a great start and all that kind of stuff. And, whether I was right or wrong, it probably did not help me at that, but it's okay. Sometimes you say things and that's fine. And by the way, as I've tried to explain to Scotty and Cam and others, and Drake, Lord knows I failed with Drake. Like you can say whatever you want and you can put it out there, but you're also going to sometimes get a reaction, and there may be repercussions to some of the things you say on social media. I've found out over the years, and we all find out from time to time. But all that said, I had a good visit. Just said quick hello to Mac, because he's going to be on national TV, and he'll be. And I was trying to gauge. He had a look of relief, because the truth of the matter is they're not going to. I mean, we thought win or lose, they might go ahead and make a change heading into the bye. Well, you win 30-3 and you dominate UCF. It seems a little awkward and odd to make a change. Would Florida have done it? Would Auburn have done it? Would LSU have done it? Sure. But Baylor's not that's they operate differently than that. So we'll see how it plays out. And, I think they'll probably let the season play out. You say to me right now, well, what if they win 2 of the last 3 and they finish 7-5? What if they win 1 and they finish, so they're 5-4. Yeah. So what if they finish with just 6-6? Bottom line is, I think if you finish 6-6, a change is going to be made. I think there's still a pretty decent chance a change is even made at 7-5. Now you went out, and you go 8-4. I don't think they fire him. No, I think it's another case of a strong finish, and then we'll kind of start next year with him on the hot seat again. But it would be a great finish. And we'd be asking ourselves the same question. Why does it get to that point? Why does it get to 4-4? Why do they always bog down and then they finish strong? Now, do I think they're about to run the table? I do not. Let's remember who they have. They got the Utes coming in. They got a trip to Arizona, and they finish up the season at home against the Houston Cougars. Utah is a scary, scary place to play. I don't think we know yet what time. Wait, do we know? They're going to the bye. They're probably waiting to announce that, right, Scotty? We don't know. We don't know yet on the Utah game time. But Utah.
We do.
Matter. Well, but I keep thinking of Utah in the terms of when you're at their place, it's a scary, scary place.
Well,
McLean is not as scary of a place.
Yeah, but it's a 6 p.m. kick.
Good. Okay, thank you, Scotty. 6 p.m. kick. We have received that information Baylor will go into the bye. Then they have a 6 p.m. and that'll be fun. That'll be fun because they're going to be sitting there at 5-4. Utah is going to be coming in, and Utah, as Scotty explained, that's a scary team right now, and they only have 2 losses. They could end up finishing really strong. They've had a couple of really good wins this season. Never count Whittingham and his team out. If Baylor somehow could beat the Utes in a 6:00 night game and get this thing to 6-4 with Arizona on the road and Houston to finish, then you honestly do start thinking about finishing 8-4. And as Ashley joked, and it's a joke, but it's also true. Nobody plays like a Dave Aranda team when it has its back against the wall. Last year, 2-4, 6 straight. This year, 4-4, thinking about making a change. Could they win 4 straight and get it to 8-4 to end the season? I don't think they can, but it is worth discussing. All right. Now you saw what Cam said about this game tonight. Excuse me. What Scotty said. Scotty was giving you those underdog over-unders. He thinks Jacoby Brissett is going to go not over-under. What do we call them? High or lower when we talk about underdog. He thinks Jacoby Brissett is going to go higher than the 1.5, which underdog has set. He's going to go higher than 1.5 touchdown passes. All right, because Scotty does not trust the Cowboys defense. And why would he? I would only say they play a little bit better at home, and the offense goes crazy at home. The offense is great at home. Dak is set to put up huge numbers. Let's remember, the Cardinals are 2-5, got a pretty good coach. I like Gannon okay, but they haven't had Kyler Murray a lot. Kyler never loses at the stadium, but Kyler's not starting. The other one that he had on the higher lower thing, Scotty, you had Javonte Williams. Would he go higher or lower than 65 rushing yards, Scotty? Is that right? Or 66?
66.5.
66.5 is the number. And you have Javonte going higher. Scotty, do you have the Cowboys winning this game tonight? And if so, what's the score of this game?
31-27, Dallas wins, and it's too close.
All right. That would mean that Cowboys cover because I think right now the line is 3.5. Cowboys by 3.5. So you've got the Cowboys barely covering. You know, I see the Cowboys getting after this team, putting up points. I think this is a 35 to 17 win. This is a jump on them game. And I guess I just don't have that much faith in, certainly don't have faith in the Cowboys defense, but I don't have much faith in Jacoby Brissett and what the Cardinals are going to try to throw out there. I do think it's worth monitoring just what the Cowboys are able to bring in. I did want to say this too, Scotty, in the context of the Cowboys playing tonight. Guess what the Eagles are out doing? Eagles are like, well, man, the Eagles didn't even play this weekend. What are they
getting
doing?
Another pass rusher.
Trading. They're just out there like, what can we do to help our team? Who is out there that might help us? And they got a pass rusher who, I think for the Miami Dolphins, who's got, 30-something sacks, 36 sacks throughout his career. And this year's not been great, but not been horrible. I think he has 4 or 5 sacks through, probably only somewhere in the 3 to 5 sack range through 9 games. But he has been a decent pass rusher for the Dolphins. They went out and got him. Then they got a defensive back like earlier in the week. And then they got somebody else recently. They're adding to their team. They need help on defense, and they keep adding players. Cowboys are like, whatever. I mean, they gave up Scotty. They did not. This was not an easy trade. They had to give up a 3rd-round pick, I believe. I think they had to give up a 3rd-rounder to get this pass rusher. The Eagles did. So look at the Eagles still out trying to make deals, make plays. Commanders, they're done. Season's over. All right. Commanders went out there the other night. They got the poor old quarterback, Jaden Williams, his non-throwing arm. He got that elbow all messed up. It was bad. And one thing I don't do, Scotty, when I hear there's like an ugly injury, I never find myself, let's go look at it. I'm okay. I can just deal with the fact that Jaden Williams on his non-throwing arm has a bad elbow injury. And we don't know. I don't know if we've heard anything in the last hour, but they did not know. I don't think they were they're not going to rush him back because right now the season does not feel like they've got a whole lot left to play for. They're in a bad way, and I think they've fallen to 3-6. Scotty, does that sound about right to you? I think so. I think the old Commanders have fallen. And, boy, just a few weeks ago, that looked like a team that might at least stay in there and have something to play for. Giants have said goodbye, even though it's been fun. We love their running back who got hurt, the great Scattaboo. Jackson Dart's fun to watch. But the Giants got beat 34-24. I thought the big stories, Scotty, we'll have more on this tomorrow, were just that some of those really good teams like Colts get beat. Lions get beat. I mean, there were some teams. I mean, Colts are still 7-2. They're okay, but they got beat. I mean, the Lions are a good team. They got a great head coach. They got beat by the J.J. McCarthy-led Vikings. And you look at some of these performances and you go, golly, how did they do this? Like the Panthers got a big win over the Packers. Panthers go out there and win, Scotty, 16-13. So I go, well, I wonder if Bryce was okay in this game. Well, I guess. I mean, if you think like throwing for about 103 yards is okay, who was the star of the show for the Carolina Panthers? His name is Rico Dowdle. 2 touchdowns, ran for over 100 yards. They finally just said, well, Chubba, glad to have you, but you sit over there on the bench, and Rico is our man. And lo and behold, they go get a win. And Jordan, the Packers quarterback, who's been so good, goes out there and throws for like 273 yards, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter. The Panthers controlled the ball, controlled the clock, played pretty good defense, got a couple of takeaways, and they win that game 16-13. So right there, I just named 3 pretty dang good teams that got beat. And then the Bears snuck out a win another gut-wrenching loss for those Bengals, and the Bears were able to score some points late and get a big win. And so you got a lot of teams right now, Scotty, some unlikely teams at 6-3, 6-2, some 7-2s out there. There's some the NFL race is interesting because that was a big win for the Bills, tough loss for the Chiefs, and watch out because the game the other night, I mean, these Ravens are not dead yet. Lamar's back. They're 3-5. If you think the Ravens are dead, you haven't watched that head coach and the way that team reacts. They did look dead at 1-5. They've won 2 straight, and they're going to start trying to climb back in this thing. Can they do it? Maybe. I mean, look over there. Do you think the even though they won, do you think the Steelers are going to run away with that division? Do you think they're going to run off and hide? They're not good enough to. They don't have enough weapons to do it. So very interesting stuff happening around the NFL. Scotty, I'm glad I could get us out. I always say to you, what do I say off air? Scotty, we'll get out. We got late night. We got the Doomsday podcast. It's going to be a late night. We need to get out early on the Mosley show. And, of course, we don't do it. Maybe we'll get out 30 seconds early. Thank you, Landing. Thank you, Brazos Landing. Thank you for what you do. And we appreciate you. Thank you, Ashley Hodge, for being on with us. Central National Bank, our presenting sponsor. The Landing, that is where America goes for all these big games, whether it's Family Day, whether it's the holidays, with Thanksgiving coming up and Christmas holidays and holiday parties. Keep the Landing. I mean, it's just because the weather, even it's getting a little chillier, it's still so pretty. If you can sit out there near that water, or even if you're inside, but you have one of those tables that backs up and you can look out at the river. I love it. I mean, I don't know why I'm so infatuated with water and rivers and the ocean and lakes, but if you let me dine on a river, I mean, I'm in a good mood. That puts me in a good mood. Even out there like Belton, out there on Lake Belton, there's a place out there that I like eating because I can just kind of look out over that big old lake, and it just makes my food taste better. But I'm telling you, you don't even need help from the water. The food at Brazos Landing is just awesome at all times. Scotty Swingler doing good work today. He had a strong outing on Please Bear With Me podcast yesterday. I was checking out some of that. Strong opinions. He's always got Ganaway hanging out over there. Some good stuff. Hope everybody had a great Baylor homecoming. And then tomorrow we'll react to the Cowboys and Cardinals. More stuff on Baylor and also to the Baylor men. And one last thing, the Baylor women today, just a reminder, 58-52, huge win there in Paris, France, as they take down the number 7 ranked Duke Blue Devils. You do not want to see the Bears on foreign land, all right, on foreign ground. Beautiful win for the Bears. All right, everybody, have a great one. We will look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 1 o'clock straight up on the Matt Mosley Show of Rogue Media Network.